Ciao, amici enorme. Vamos lá. Estou aqui em Nova York. Nova York, para vocês entenderem, para quem acha que acesso a armas nos Estados Unidos é tudo muito facilitado, muito tranquilo, não é, tá? Existem estados que são muito restritivos, que você não consegue ter acesso a praticamente nada. Aqui em Nova York é um deles. Até para você comprar spray de pimenta tem dificuldade. Mas no coração de Nova York, marcando uma bandeira de liberdade, nós temos quem? A minha casa, a Beretta Gallery. Para quem quiser conhecer, a Beretta Gallery está localizada bem próximo do Central Park, tá? Na Madison Avenue, tá? Uma região que tem muitas lojas de grife, tá? As grifes mais importantes estão por aqui. Mas eu sei que vocês querem conhecer a minha casa. Então, vem comigo, vamos conhecer. Ah, é?
Aí, vai comer. Valeu.
A Beretta Gallery, ela tem vários pisos, tá? Esse piso aqui é para roupas. Então você tem aqui, ó, roupas masculinas e femininas. Tudo da grife Beretta. Tudo grife Beretta. Vocês querem agradecer? Say thanks to this guy. He's from Beretta. He's an Italian one. Can you present yourself for our view?
My name is Ernesto Tino Girombelli. Everybody call me Tino. In Beretta books, in Beretta is Tino Girombelli. Almost 30 years ago, I was the guy who developed the clothing and accessory line. That was a very small thing, etc. And after 30 years, I can say we are great successful all around the world, Italy, Europe, and also USA. I lived in USA, Beretta USA, for 5 years of my life. So I travel all around. America, training all the reps, and I visit all the states of United States of America. So it's something, and we had a great successful. My boss was Franco Gusalli Beretta, and we are still in great touch personally and etc.
Thank you very much.
Tino.
Assim vocês estão conhecendo um pouquinho da história da família Beretta.
Is a part, but if you see one book of Beretta history, there is my name inside,
Okay.
regarding clothing and accessory.
Ok, thank you, Tino.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
Vamos continuar aqui, ó. Você tem toda essa parte aqui, inclusive de coisas para casa, para bar. Vindo a Nova York é um lugar que vocês têm que conhecer, os amantes de armas.
The 500 yearbook? The 500 yearbook? Or also the previous one that was from...
Mas tem mais, vamos conhecer.
No, we sold out.
He told me.
Yeah. Now,
How was it?
yeah, it's slow right now.
No, now it's okay, man.
But
Yeah.
before then, really good. The store in Dallas was nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's very nice to meet you.
Now, hello to play.
Will do. Will do.
You got it, nice. Okay. By the way, Tino is easy to remember.
Aqui a gente tem mais um andar, né? Tem protetores auriculares, óculos de proteção, boné, mais clothing. Olha, isso não é a minha cara. Você acha que acabou? Tem mais, essa loja é enorme. Olha o que nós temos aqui, ó. De quem que é essa arma? Do próprio Ernest Hemingway.
Good afternoon, Brian. Hey, Brian, this is Keith Adams.
Ó,
This is Keith Adams.
todas as armas da linha de armas de caça da Beretta. Aqui em Nova York, como eu falei, tem muitas restrições. Então, na loja da Beretta, você vai encontrar as armas longas. Não tem armas curtas aqui, por causa das restrições do estado de Nova York. Mas são obras de arte, né? Uma mais linda que a outra.
If there's anything you want to take a closer look at, let me know. I'm happy to
Okay,
put it up.
perfect. Thank you very much.
I mean, if you want sort of a cool little video here, the SO guns. Have you seen our? Sorry, what's your name?
Sorry?
What's your name?
Marcello.
Marcello. Matt.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
For our SO guns, our SO6 has a very fun party trick up its sleeve.
Yeah, my apologies. I mean, do you have an email specifically?
Yeah. So that gives you access to all your action there and your side locks, which is unique to this gun. Then, you
É
know,
uma arma única, tá? Você tem todo acesso ao mecanismo dela de maneira bem simples. E vocês estão vendo que realmente é uma obra de arte. E cada arma é única.
And like they were literally like the guy was like,
very good. Back together.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, and it's depending on the engraving. You know, you can slightly see the hinges on this gun with some of, you know, we have another one in the other room with a deep scroll engraving on it where it totally blends those lines together. So it's a really neat piece.
Yeah.
You know.
State of the art piece.
Yeah, you know, it's the SO guns are a really cool mix between, you know, old world craftsmanship but modern performance. You know, there are very few companies in the world that can make these things. They're gorgeous guns and they shoot well. So
Yeah.
it's the best of both worlds.
Perfect.
Yeah.
and then try to, if you respond, I'll get it back. I'll get it out.
Yeah.
Para quem não sabe, a Beretta tem. Can you come here?
Oh yeah, sure.
We have precision rifles too for
Yeah.
Beretta. Can you show you us
Yeah.
one of them?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Para quem não sabe, gente, a Beretta não tem só espingardas, tem rifles de precisão também.
So this is a Sako TRG 22A1.
What's the caliber?
This one is a 308 Winchester.
308 Winchester. Tá?
Yep. So they're a really neat system. It's a chassis rifle. It's been around for quite a fair amount of time. They shoot, for a factory gun, they shoot incredibly well. You know, I personally shoot competitions with one of these, shooting PRS matches and some belly matches. I push mine in 6.5 Creedmoor out to, you know, 1,400 yards without issue. So they shoot real well. They're a tri-lug bolt system, so you have that lower bolt throw there, which keeps you down and away from any turrets. If you're running your scope more to the rear, if you have big windage turrets, anything like that. It's a 30 MOA base, which is co-aligned with your Picatinny rail up here, so you don't run into issues of if you mount inline night vision or thermal in front of your main optic, you're not dealing with any misalignment there. Your stock folds and locks into position, so if you want to bring that size down, swings back open, and then your length of pull,
You can adjust.
and then it also locks down. So, and then the other neat feature on these is, so you have your bolt here, which is a tri-load.
Yeah.
But the other neat thing about the TRGs is that in your bolt handle, it's a Torx bit,
Haha.
which lets you access.
A ferramenta está no próprio bolt.
One more time here. I have to loosen it up to get it by hand. Oh, thank you. So, lets you access your toolkit here. Underneath, it's mounted in the rifle.
Tem kit de ferramentas montado no na própria arma.
Which gives you all of the tools needed to adjust your trigger group. So adjust it fore and aft, change your trigger pull weight, as well as it's all the bits to tighten up anything should it come loose. So it's a pretty neat little feature on these. Also means, you don't have to carry, probably if you're doing precision work, you probably want to carry some form of torque wrench, but this means you have to carry less. Well, you have a backup set of tools on your gun itself, which is pretty nice.
Então vocês estão tendo aí uma visão que a Beretta não fabrica só pistolas ou espingardas. A gente tem uma linha toda de rifles de precisão, armas para caça, tá? Ele, por exemplo, compete. Está falando que ele faz competição, né, com armas de precisão. Can you explain us the restrictions here in the state of New York and the reason you don't have pistols here?
Yep. So New York State, essentially, well, we have extra complications. There's the difference in New York State law, and then on top of that, we have to comply with New York City law. But essentially, in New York State, the issue is that in order to handle a handgun, you need to have a New York State permit. Which takes a significant amount of time depending on where you live within New York. So, we could have them on display theoretically, but, the biggest thing with pistol shooting is how they fit in your hand, how the trigger feels, all of those ergonomics that go into it. And, because we're a big destination here and most people that come in don't have state pistol permits, we wouldn't be able to sell them, they wouldn't be able to interact with them. And we'd have to have this conversation about 30, 40 times a day. So, and because we're in New York, we have very limited floor space. So we wanted to dedicate that to products that we can sell.
Yeah, because in Brazil, all people think, oh no, I go USA is every gun access is free, it's easy, and I'm explaining them because we came from Florida, we came to New York, then we go back to Texas, it's different, and then we go to Vegas for the SHOT Show.
Okay,
Then it will be a trip to explain people that different from what we think. There are states in the US that the access of firearms is easier, and are states like New York that the access of firearms is very, very hard to get. You said a permit. In Brazil, we say porte de arma. And in New York, só explicando, ele explicou que eles têm que cumprir a legislação do estado de Nova York e da cidade de Nova York. And in New York, it's very hard to have firearms access.
So it really, the U.S., there are federal standards, which are, like if you're buying a new gun, it has to go through a gun store, do a background check, that kind of stuff. But once you get down to the state level, the federal law is the minimum. But then the states can add whatever restrictions they see fit on top of that. So I personally live in New Jersey. The laws are overall not quite as strict as New York, but it's different. So like if you live in New York State, you can buy a shotgun or a rifle without a license. For long guns, if it's manually operated, so like an over-under shotgun, bolt-action rifle, those are good to go. I live in New Jersey, where
semi-auto too.
Semi-auto shotguns, yes.
Yes.
Semi-auto rifles, no.
No.
You need a permit for semi-auto rifles. For New Jersey, for example, you can't buy anything until you get a state-issued permit. But getting that permit, and once you have it, it's for life. So it ends up, there's a little more front-end work you have to do, but then it's easier once you're through the door. As well as New Jersey doesn't have those same level of restrictions on handguns. Yeah, so it really depends. You go state to state, radically different laws, crossing over. I spend a lot of time out in Pennsylvania for competitions. All those guys are running, I know guys with machine guns, short barrel rifles, suppressors, all the fun stuff. I spend some time.
The fun stuff.
Yeah, no, I spend some time out at the Geisley Automatics range. They host matches there normally once a month in the spring and summer. One of the guys out there bought a Browning 50 cal recently. Like, it's just, it's radically different when you go state to state.
Yeah, and it's very interesting for us to see. Okay, in New York you have all these restrictions, and New York is not safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and
it's not. It's not. Let's say the safety or the problems with criminality is not connected to guns.
Yeah. No, it's not. There's not necessarily.
Yeah. Because you go in states like Texas,
yep.
It's easier to get, and Dallas, for an example,
yep.
is far more secure than New York.
Yeah, you go to, and again, it depends where you are. If you go into upstate New York, radically different world than down here in the city. You also have states like Maine, Montana, New Hampshire, where, they don't have those issues, and so it's also you run into the question of like sort of rural, urban issues, and those being their separate things, and it's a real mix again, depending on the state.
Super. Thank you very much for your existence here, and vocês, bem-vindos à minha casa. Tivemos aqui um pouquinho de um bate-papo interessante sobre legislação de armas aqui nos Estados Unidos, sobre a Casa Beretta, and the most important thing that I say everybody, in state like New York, that restrictions are very, very hard, Beretta here is a flag of liberty in the middle of Manhattan. Ok? É isso aí, gente. Hoje a gente tem mais, porque nós vamos na John Giovinos, que é uma das lojas mais antigas de armas aqui em Nova York.